Twice in a row! Twice in a row! That's how inconsistent this thing is. They seriously don't think save points are a good idea. Are you serious? Oh good, you can't even look at the menu or else it disappears. I've been waiting for a VR stealth game to come out, so when I saw that a well-established stealth franchise put out a VR title, I bought it pretty much immediately. This was despite the fact that the game had gotten terrible reviews on launch for having poor controls. I went in ready for this, and I tried to not let it affect my opinion of the game. And I'm fairly certain that even if this game had perfect controls, I still would have been disappointed. There isn't a single thing that makes this game stealth fail. It's a culmination of poor design choices that I'm going to go over one by one. One of the most immersion-breaking issues that they've failed to address is how the game handles when the player steps out of bounds. This game considers you out of bounds if you step anywhere near cover, a wall, debris on the ground. It's unavoidable. You will go out of bounds multiple times an hour playing this game. This feels awful for the player, especially considering it's a stealth game and you're trying to tuck yourself into tight corners to hide from enemies. It becomes a game-breaking issue when you're trying to hide from an enemy who's starting to detect you, but you can't because you got a little bit too close to the cover you're trying to hide behind. It is beyond immersion breaking. Other games have dealt with this in very simple ways. For example, in Pavlov, if you get a little too close to a wall or an object, it'll just push you away. I wouldn't be surprised if this gets updated in a patch soon. The next issue I want to talk about is how this game handles crouching. There's a button for when you want to enter sneak mode, which ducks you down and has you walk slower and quieter. The only way to enter this mode is by pressing this button. You would think that the game would track if you're crouching and put you into stealth mode based on that, but it doesn't. The game makes you calibrate your height and then does like nothing with it. I would love to see an update where you could choose when you want to walk slower for quieter footsteps and you could just crouch at your own discretion, because it really is kind of jank that you can crouch and then duck down and then put your head like on the floor. You could make the argument that this is going prone, but there's no way you could crawl on your stomach at this speed. So the next issue I'm going to talk about is the level design. In my mind, a good stealth level can be approached from multiple angles. There would be multiple solutions to dealing with one area. This happens maybe 5 to 10% of the time in Sniper Elite VR. For the most part, you're sent down a one-way corridor with an obscene amount of enemies in the way. Very rarely, the game does have branching pathways. Like on the mission Seeking Vengeance, you can use the sewers to get into the fort instead of the main gate. The programming on this seems kinda shoddy though. Like, I found the sewer after going through the main gate, and then it made all the enemies inside the fort respawn. I also dislike the amount of enemies that the game throws at you. Especially on the action levels where they don't let you stealth, the game will throw like 50 brain-dead AI at you, and I guess they just want it to be a cool shooting gallery so you can see the bullets ripping them apart? I don't know. In VR, less tends to be more. I know it's corny to bring up Half-Life Alyx, but I'm gonna do it. In Half-Life Alyx, you don't fight a large pack of enemies for a long time. Fighting 1 or 2 Combine soldiers can be very intimidating. In this game, they just immediately have you kill like 50 Nazis while trying to portray you in a desperate situation. It just doesn't really work the same, you know? I feel like there's too many enemies in a lot of the stealth situations too. It feels like the only option is to slowly kill every enemy off instead of trying to sneak past them. I would have loved some more small-scale stealth situations, or just a few more areas where sneaking past without killing anybody was more feasible. I really think a lot of the fun in going for full stealth is lost because of the checkpoint save system they have. I could see the mentality of not wanting people to save scum, but I think it really does take away from the experience of this game. The controls aren't consistent at all, so you can be halfway through a stealth section and miss a shot off BS with the controls. You'll then have to replay 3 to 5 minutes of waiting for the plane to fly over you so you can kill people without anyone hearing. At first I thought this plane gimmick was really cool, but it eventually just becomes really tedious. Like seriously, playing some of these sections stealthy is literally the exact same as going loud, except you have to wait 30 to 45 seconds for the plane instead of shooting immediately. It's also complete BS when you hit a long range shot when you're going stealthy, except it goes through their shoulder and gives you a hit marker. Immediately the entire area will be alerted to your location. You literally get punished for hitting a long range shot, then you're wasting another 5 minutes waiting for the plane to take the exact same shots you just took. What a fun experience. The situations where you can silently kill with the well rod are much more fun, but it does have one vital issue. And it's not even just the well rod actually, most guns in this game have this issue. I can't see the front sight on most of the weapons. It's really bad on the well rod and gets even worse in the dark. It is the absolute worst feeling when you're in a stealth section and you need to get this kill with the well rod, but you miss it because you literally can't see what you're aiming at. It is painful to lose time like that. These issues with getting stealth kills, combined with the fact that you can't save whenever you want, so you have to replay whenever you run into these issues, makes this game just insanely frustrating to play. Like, I can't even bring myself to finish it. And sure, I could just ignore stealth and go through sniping everyone, but the game honestly isn't that fun like that. The kill cams of destroying their body parts gets pretty boring after like the 5-hour mark. My last complaint for this game is the lack of a tagging feature. In Sniper Elite 4, you could tag enemies and then see them through walls or on your radar. This game completely lacks radars and any form of tagging, and I feel like that's a pretty big mistake. I feel like they should have brought it over. I feel like it would have added a lot to the stealth. It just seems like the design philosophy for this game was way different than Sniper Elite 4, since 4 had these huge open levels and this game just has these linear corridors. I think the developers intended for the player to get a few stealth kills in each area before going loud and finishing everyone off. This definitely isn't the stealth game that I've been waiting for, but it makes me happy that developers are at least trying. Maybe one day we'll get Dishonored VR, who knows. Let me know if my opinion's dog water. Let me know if you think this is the best stealth game ever made. If you actually made it to the end of this, I really appreciate it. I have nothing else to complain about. Have a good night.